When you think about it, have you ever been actually offended by someone calling you a fag over a video game? Because when someone is trying to flame me or some bullshit, I can immediately picture them in my head as some greasy 40-year-old fat ass that still lives in his mom's basement. Not to mention most games have a mute option so you don't have to see or hear his crusty ass speak or write about how he is better than you. Muting or just ignoring the person is the best option to stop them from being toxic. If you don't give any kind of reaction, then the person will eventually stop or at least be way less toxic than he was before. But what is a toxic player? A kid who will call himself the best but isn't and always calls people trash. So basically just a shit talker. Making the game more difficult for your team on purpose or just completely exiting the game entirely is griefing, and I think it's important not to mix those two up. Toxic players don't really impact the gameplay that much. Sometimes they do by spending more time talking instead of actually playing, but that is because someone probably gave some kind of reaction to the toxic player and now they are spending their time arguing in Spawn instead of playing the fucking game. When I see a toxic player, I just laugh and don't really feel offended by him. It's funny having them in game and seeing their reactions to getting completely destroyed or just raging like a little baby because his team didn't want to 3v5 the enemy team. A lot of people such as Tyler1 and XQC became famous because they were toxic and giving off funny reactions. The only reason I would give some kind of reaction to a toxic player is when they are garbage at the game but manage to win by luck. I'm also one of those players. When I'm being toxic, I don't actually mean what I say 90% of the time. I just say the stuff I do because I think it's funny or when I'm actually pissed off at someone abusing a broken game mechanic. Most games just don't care about toxic players and are focused on fixing the game, banning cheaters and making more content, except for League of Legends. For some reason Riot Games will ban toxic players over griefers. If a griefer is in your game, you must endure it till the end of the match because actually saying anything to them will get you banned. You're better off just not saying anything because Riot Games doesn't care about the context. I got banned for actually defending a teammate against a toxic feeder and now I don't play League as much. Stop being a baby and stop complaining about toxic players. Sure, it would be better without them, but the actual people you should be complaining about are the hackers and those epic griefers. Also, don't let them get to you. Bitching about them just shows how weak your mentality is. You aren't a 6-year-old.
We may have misunderstanding.